8b.7. So we learned how to use the properties of logs and condense and expand, but now we're going to use those properties to actually solve log equations. Okay, so I have the steps here for you. The first thing, let's go ahead and go to example 1. The first thing you're going to need to do is condense to make it a single log statement. So if we look here, we see that log base 5, both of these have log base 5, and they're adding, which means we're going to end up changing it to multiplication. So we have log base 5, and then we're going to go 5 times 25, and 5 times 25 is 125. Now, some of you might already know what the answer to this problem is, and you can go ahead and do that if you want to. If you don't know the answer and you need to kind of work it out, all we're going to do is put equals x, and then we're going to change it to our exponent equation. So when we rewrite this as an exponent, it is 5 to the x power equals 125. Okay, then we have to change these so that they both have the same base. So we get 5 to the x power equals, and then 125 is 5 to the third power. We can drop our bases, and the answer is x equals 3. All right, example 2, we're going to do the same thing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is condense it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you about 30 seconds again here to try this one on your own. Okay, so hopefully you got a chance to try that. So to condense this, I'm going to go log base 12, and I have 48 times 3, because we change addition to multiplication. That's going to end up as log base 12 of 144. At this point, your options are, you can put equals x, and then set it to your exponent equation. If you remember that if your base and your number over here have the same base, then you can cancel out the bases and your answer is your exponent. So what I mean by that is if you wrote log base 12 and then you know 144 is 12 to the second power, so then that means that this would cancel out and my answer would just be 2. If you could have also gone this equals x, and then changed it to 12 to the x equals 144. And then you know that you need base 12, so you'd have 12 to the x equals 12 to the second. And again, you would get your answer of x equaling 2. So either way, you're going to get the correct answer. Okay, example 3. What is the first thing that I would need to do on example 3? Okay, hopefully you said to move the 3 up and make it an exponent. So when we do that, we have log base 4 of 8 to the third power plus log base 4 of 2. Okay, so next we are going to condense these. So we're going to have log base 4 of 8 to the third times 2, because again, adding changes to multiplication when we're condensing. So then we can simplify here. 8 to the third power is 512 times 2, and 512 times 2 is 1024. So log base 4 of 1024. And then again, it's up to you on how you do this, but I'm going to go ahead and put equals x this time. So when I change this to exponent form, I'm going to get 4 to the x equals 1024. So I know that I need base 4. And so you're going to have to basically just kind of guess and check to figure out 4 to what power makes 1,024. So if you're going to punch some numbers into your calculator, or if you just multiply them out in your head, you end up getting 4 to the 5th power equals 1,024, which means that my answer is 5. All right, example 4. So this one has 3 terms in it. So notice 2 of the terms are adding, and then 1 here is subtracting. So when you're working these problems, you are going to go left to right. So when I condense this, I'm going to write this as log base 2, and 24 and 2 are adding, so that means I'm going to go 24 times 2 multiplying together. And then next we have subtracting 12, so we're going to take that whole thing and divide it by 12. Okay, so you just work your left to right, and if you don't have any exponents, you take care of exponents first, and then we work left to right, so those 2 are multiplying, and then we divide it all by 12. So then we can simplify this, and we'd end up getting log base 2, and if you want to, you can actually cross cancel here. So 12 goes into 24 2 times, and then we get 2 times 2, which is 4. And when I look at this now, I know that 4 is 2 to the 2nd power, and I can match that up. And so I get log base 2 of 2 to the 2nd, because 2 to the 2nd is 4. And then these are the 2's that cancel out and leave me with my answer, which is my exponent. So in this case, my answer is 2. Okay, example 5. What would be the first thing that I do on this problem? Okay, so hopefully you said to bring the 1/2 up with the 25. So that changes to log base 10 of 25 to the 1/2 power. And then I still have log base 10 of 14 minus log base 10 of 7. It's kind of up to you at this point on how you want to kind of do things first, but I know that 25 to the 1/2 power is really the square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is really what? 5. So that means this right here is really log base 10 of 5 plus log base 10 of 14 minus log base 10 of 7. Okay, and then now I'm going to condense it with adding and subtracting. And so I have log base 10 of 5 times 14 divided by 7. And then we'll reduce here, and I notice that 7 and 14 can reduce, so 7 goes into 14 2 times. So now I have log base 10, and 5 times 2 is 10. And there's no exponent here, so what exponent is actually there? A 1. And these match, those cancel out, so that means my answer is 1, which was my exponent. Okay, and last one, example 6. I am going to give you about a minute to solve that one on your own. So work it out, and then I'll go over it here in just a minute. Okay, so the correct answer is 3. Hopefully you got that. If you didn't, let's work through it here real quick. So there's no exponents or numbers in front that I need to bring up as my exponents. So I'm gonna go through and condense. We have log base 5 of 75 times 15, all divided by 9. From there, if you want to, I would go ahead and try reducing. So I know, for instance, that 3 and 15 go into each other. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, and then also 3 and 75, they also reduce. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 goes into 75 25 times. So looking here now, I have log base 5 of 25 times 5, which is 125. And you could solve this either way by changing 125 to base 5, or if you just wanted to go ahead and put the exponent equation, you would write equals x, change it to an exponent. I have 5 to the x equals 125. I again still have to get my base 5, so I have 5 to the x equals, and 125 is 5 to the third power. We drop our bases, and x equals 3. And that's your answer.